Hi there, it's Steve again here with another bat rep for you, and I got Leon with me.
Hey guys.
Got him back in the cellar, and we're playing Nemo 3 against Boo-CHERR 3. It's a matchup that we've just noticed we've played a few times now. And we are playing Steamroller 2017. It's number 1, it's the Pit 2. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So this is your first time playing Steamroller 2017?
Yes.
So the rules have changed a little bit. It's easier to score these days, but it's harder to get ahead on points. Yeah, so you were able to have a look at that and see what it was like. And also I used the cluster method for the terrain, so that looks a bit sort of different than it quite often used to when we played before. A little bit more spread out in this case. Yeah. So we're playing, yeah, as I said, it's Nemo 3 against Boo-CHERR 3, and we're both just like battle group lists. So here I am, I got Nemo 3 of Finch, got the Squire, obviously. I got this up on the screen just so I could look at it, and then I turn the thing around. Squire, and then I got the Hurricane in the battle group with Dynamo and a Centurion. Then Journeyman Warcaster's got the Firefly, of course. As always, we got Strange Ways there, and I also got Jake's with a Stormclad attached. So yeah, it's the same list I've been playing loads of times, Nemo 3. It's pretty good. I just said to Leon, I find it a shame that the Stormclad tends to last one turn of speeding some stuff up and then gets killed. But apart from that, I quite like the list. It's quite nice to have the super powerful guns.
And it's small.
Yeah.
Makes thinking less hard.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it certainly makes for quicker turns. So here's your list.
On the note of having low model count.
Yeah.
So I'm playing the list that you've seen multiple times on the channel. I haven't really made many changes because I'm still learning the game, learning the list, learning the models. Like Steve said, first time Steamroller 2017, so I was quite excited to try that out despite it being in development.
Mm-hmm.
I like the new what are they called? Not the flags, but the
Objectives.
Yeah.
So that's quite different in that you can choose what objective you want when you know who you're playing. So it's
and
quite
also
nice.
less rules and there's less of them, so I think it just makes it a bit more streamlined for at least for newer players such as myself.
Yeah.
I chose the one that repairs, which is a nice combination with a Devastator.
I didn't even declare which one I chose. So I
you didn't even
completely
need
forgot.
It. Like I'll win without, I think.
Confidence.
Yeah. So yeah, I have Boo-CHERR with his 2 dogs. In his battle group is Meddling Corbo and the Ruin, 2 Juggernauts, 2 Kodiaks, and a Devastator. And then there's the Boo-CHERR and Aura Midwinter and the Goblin Tinker. Mm-hmm. Then for deployment, as you can see, everything is nice and bunched up. Sort of moving towards one side of the table. Yeah. I put a Devastator on the other side.
So you chose this side because I won the roll-off. You chose that side. Why did you choose that side?
Because I liked the house, the combination of the house and the forest to protect Boo-CHERR behind. Yeah. It wouldn't bother me so much because Ruin has Boundless Charge and Boo-CHERR and his dogs have Boundless Charge as well. Mm-hmm. Or sorry, Relentless Charge, I should say. So that didn't bother me, so I could use advantage of the cover and potentially having you slowed down and I can just charge through. And
also before you decided, we measured up and we found that hill would have been outside of the kill box, but the trench is inside kill box. So that trench is not very useful for this for this game, but the hill was pretty good. Yeah, especially against shooting.
Yeah, especially if I had chosen the other side, it was completely open for all the shooting except for the one wall there. Mm-hmm. I think it was a bit more defensive and a bit more strategic on the other side.
Yeah, no, I think that's the right decision. Actually, you certainly had a lot more stuff to sit behind.
Yeah. So the plan was to have the vast majority of my army moving towards the center, so I could both contest the zone in the middle, but also score points with all my jacks in the right zone, and then have just the lone Devastator sit there in the other zone being repaired by the objective, and not really care about what goes on that side.
Devastator is really good, especially in the new Steamroller package. As we discussed, so he's steady, so he can't be knocked down, can't be pushed around. He's got that ridiculously high armor, you can still throw him, but he's got 2 open fists, so he gets when you do your strength comparison, then he gets 2 dice for that. So he's really good, and he can sit there on his own and not really care too much about what's going on. So really cool. Yeah, I still like your list a lot. I think everything's there that you need to be there. Butcher is completely deadly still. On feet turn, he's very hard to assassinate. It's really good. Anyway, but knowing the list a little bit is a bit of an advantage as well.
True, yeah. There's no more surprises, right?
Yeah. So I got first turn, which I felt was... because Kador or Jax are quite slow, maybe it wasn't so important. And also because I'm in heavy metal, then I get that extra 2 inches of deployment, which helps me get sort of toe into the zone on the first turn, whether I get first turn or not. But I took first turn anyway, because obviously that means you can walk up towards my guns.
Yeah, I would have liked first turn, to be honest.
Okay, so denying you your first turn is what I was doing this time. So as you can see, the Hurricane is aiming square. I didn't discuss my deployment, but I deployed so that I could do this on the first turn. So you can see what I'm talking about. So here we go. We've got the Hurricane. He's just walking up to that gap between the house and the forest, because from your deployment, I can see that most of your army is going to be trying to squeeze through that gap. And the same reason the Stormclad is there. He's slightly off to the side, but we've got Energizer on Jake's, so he can be moved, and then he'll have charge lanes all the way up to whatever happens to be there. Firefly's in the centre, just ready to run up or walk up to whatever happens to be there, just to give the lightning guns their little boost. Got some solos up behind the wall, just because of the extra protection there. Got Nemo up quite a long way up. Don't know if that's necessary, really. It would have been nice to be able to shoot with his gun on feet turn. But it's never been a deal breaker so far. And then on the left, we've got the Centurion up against your Devastator. Centurion and Devastator is a pretty even match, actually, but because the Centurion isn't really strong enough to one round the Devastator.
Such a slugfest.
Devastator can't touch the Centurion. But when it comes to the throws, then there's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
But again, Magnetize on Nemo is gold against Jack Spam, because all of the slams and all of that sort of stuff doesn't do too much. And Dynamo's there. He's not quite being protected by the wall, but the wall's more there to stop any charges that might happen. I'm not really in danger of getting charged at this point, but
or being
still,
shot. Just
thinking ahead a little bit. Both of the Genuine Warcasters are a little bit further back because they both cast their spells. So Arcane Shield went up on the Centurion, of course, every time.
More armor.
Yeah, Sidekick went up on the Stormclad. Did I even say what my list was?
Yeah.
Did I? Okay, cool, thanks.
Steve is drinking beer.
Yeah, I've had 2 mouthfuls of beer, so my brain's forget it. Got Electrify up on the Hurricane here, so he's got a little bit of extra armor, and if he gets charged by something nasty like Ruin, for example, then he only gets 2 hits before he gets pushed out of melee range. Actually, technically, if he's got reach, does Ruin have reach?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he could, if he's in base to base, then he'd be 1 inch away, and then he'd be 2 inches away, so he could get 3 hits in. But I think Ruin needs more than 3 hits to kill a Storm, to kill a Hurricane. Anyway, Electrify's up, Magnetizer's up. I put Lightning Shroud up on Dynamo because reasons, but no. Anyway, so here's your first turn.
Oh yeah. I moved up the Kodiaks with a shield wall so that Butcher could move up and not
smoke.
Smoke, yeah. They pop smoke so that Butcher could walk up without being shot by not the storm wall.
Hurricane.
By Hurricane.
So medium bases. The Hurricane loves shooting medium bases because he knocks them down. He slams them all over the place. So it's particularly nasty for Butcher.
Yeah, that's bad news.
Yeah.
You see that they're moved forward there, and then later also energized, which is the reason why the Kodiaks are not inside the steam. Everything else just ran up, as you can see here. Devastator moving towards the zone. Ruin behind the forest, again, because he has a boundless charge, and being flanked by 2 Juggernauts for later protection, sort of like a second wave strategy. That was it, plain and simple.
Cool. Okay. So looking at what's in front of me, so we've got Ruin is within 15 inches of Dynamo, so that puts him in danger of getting shot. So and also both of the Kodiaks are in aiming range of the Hurricane, so felt like time to feat for me. So I did. As I said, the Hurricane, I think, did he aim? He didn't aim, did he? He moved slightly. Yeah, he rotated, which actually turned out to be a mistake. So the idea was that the Hurricane, so Nemo defeated. Finch took a shot at Ruin, thank you. Which, I don't know, maybe did 1 damage or something. I moved Nemo way back because Ruin, even if I was unlucky and didn't kill Ruin, then he was in serious danger of getting assassinated by Ruin. So I moved him back to just inside the kill box range. And then after I'd activated Nemo, then I moved in the Firefly and put him so that I could shoot Ruin and get the extra damage for the guns. The Hurricane walked up and took 2 shots, 1 into each of the Kodiaks, and missed both of them.
Awesome.
So I didn't get my knockdowns on those, and I didn't get my crazy boosted power 16 damage or anything like that. Super annoying. And I think I did some piffling damage on maybe one of them with the power 13s. I think maybe I boosted 1 power, I can't even remember. Then the Stormclad then just ran up and took down one of the Kodiaks. I was hoping to have maybe the ability to take down 2 of them at that point, but no, it wasn't to be. Loads of Electro Leaps, didn't do much to that Juggernaut, a couple of boxes here and there. So that was on that side. And then, of course, I walked up Dynamo and he shot Ruin. I think he had an extra shot left over after I rolled especially well on damage. He had a shot left over and took some damage off the Juggernaut as well.
And he was gone fast.
So yeah, it's like double boosted shots all the time. It was pretty easy to shoot because he's a Kador Jack. So that was that. And then the Centurion, he was outside of charge range for the Devastator, so he just did his anti-charge thing, and then just went up into the zone just to be annoying. And that is it. So that was my feet turn. Quite nice to be able to take Ruin off the board, like just one-shot him with the Dynamo. That's pretty nice. Happy with taking down the Kodiak, but I'm very unhappy about the missing both shots with the Hurricane. Just needed 4s to hit. Anyway, so your turn.
I think the fact that I haven't been playing so much is a little bit clear. I mean, putting Ruin in 15-inch threat range of Dynamo and the Kodiaks with an aiming range of Colossal is not really the mistakes you should make if you have more experience. But yeah,
it's just a case of practice, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's a little fact that you don't think about having to remember everything else again.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean, it's of course unfortunate Ruin was gone, but I still had many jacks left. So on with the plan. So the plan was to push my jacks forward on the right side. So what I did is started on the left. I moved up a Devastator to block the Centurion. I think we had this matchup before where they just kind of pushed each other back and forth, and I was thrown, I moved back, and nothing really happened. So that was fine for me, just not allowing you to score any points there while the rest of my army does something else. Then I decided to move 1 Juggernaut to the left to basically cover for my other Juggernaut. So I expected you to charge my first Juggernaut with Dynamo, and then I could retaliate with the second one, which would be a nice piece trade because I'm still up on jacks across the board. So I wouldn't mind giving up that first Juggernaut that's standing in front. So he's protecting his buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as you can see, the Stormclad is gone. He was charged by Boo-CHERR. I want to move Boo-CHERR up a little bit more, and then instead
3 hits he took. 3.
Yeah, that was nice.
Well, I was expecting him to die, but I thought you'd kill him with the Kodiaks or the remaining Kodiak.
Yeah.
But Butcher is just so dangerous. He's crazy.
Yeah, I love.
He is actually crazy.
Axe. Yeah, he is literally crazy. Yeah, so my decision on not killing him with the Kodiak was because I wanted to use the Kodiak to push forward towards the zone and just create a bit more space later in the game for Butcher to move further up instead of creating sort of the line of battle at this point. So that's why the Butcher charged the Jack instead. And then my plan was, as you can see, Butcher standing behind a forest a little bit versus the Hurricane. The plan was there to then move the Kodiak up sort of beyond the forest house line and pop smoke, so that pretty much all of line of sight to Butcher and the back line was blocked. But I didn't really remember that you have to trample full distance. I figured I could just trample a little bit and then put the steam where I wanted to, which kind of meant that I was still stuck behind the house.
Yeah.
So then the only choice I had to still screen Butcher from the Hurricane was to run him, not vent steam, and just block line of sight where you see him standing there next to the forest. So that was not ideal, because in that case I could have just used the Kodiak to charge the Stormclad, and Butcher would have been safer. The end result was in this case the same, or would have been the same. So yeah, that was how it was, and again all the support just moved forward, because I am already a little bit scared at this point. I moved the Boo-CHERR up very closely that I could pawn off a shot or shield guard a shot from Hurricane, and also Oren was standing close by in case he was trying to force hammer Butcher. So I'm going full protection on Butcher at this point. I did not pop feet because again at that point when Butcher was activated, I was still under the impression I could shield him completely with the Kodiak's Vent Steam. So he's sitting on 2 focus.
Okay.
But lots of protection.
He's sitting
him.
in the zone as well.
Yeah.
Just on the off chance that I guess I guess he wouldn't be scoring, but he'd at least be contesting.
Yeah.
So what we got here is a potential assassination. I've used up my feet.
With Butcher, hello.
Yeah. So I've used up my feet, but Dynamo can probably do enough damage to Butcher. He's camping 2 focus. I could probably do enough damage with Dynamo to assassinate Butcher. The Ogren is a bit of a problem because one of the damage it rolls is going to go on him, and that might make a bit of a difference. And I've got line of sight issues, so from one side with the Hurricane, it would be nice to be able to shoot Butcher with slam guns to knock him down. But the Kodiak's in the way. And on the other side, we've got this Juggernaut sitting there. So one of the Juggernauts is not in base contact with the forest, but the other one is. So the one that's forward and in base contact with the forest, he needs to disappear. I've just realised I could have done it, and I could have slammed him with the Centurion, and then he would have been knocked down, and I wouldn't have had to have gone to the trouble of actually killing him.
Sure.
So I decided that Dynamo needed to shoot Butcher, so he couldn't be killing that Juggernaut, so the Centurion's job was to kill the Juggernaut. Then on the other side, the Hurricane's job was to, because he couldn't slam the Kodiak into Butcher, so the job is just to remove line of sight of the Kodiak and then hopefully slam the Ogren. That would remove that shield guard, which would then allow Dynamo to do all of his shots and take him down. So this is what the board looked like after I'd done all those things. So yeah, so Nemo activated, gave a full stack of focus to Dynamo, full stack to the Centurion, and 1 to the Hurricane, which Arlen Strangeways then gave him the extra focus that he needed. Then the Hurricane went up, slammed the Kodiak, he hit and knocked him down. Then I could ignore the Kodiak because then I've got line of sight to Butcher. Then his other slam gun shot the Ogren, slammed him over Orin Midwinter, killed him, but the Ogren was fine, but he was knocked down. So as far as we know, knocked down Ogren can't do shield guard. So at that point you've got an exposed Butcher, and I think I shot him a couple of times with the Power 13s. One of them did a little bit of damage and the other one didn't do anything. So that was the end of the Hurricane's activation. Then the Centurion moved across, gave you the opportunity to do a free strike with the Devastator, which you decided not to do.
Yeah.
As I said, what I could have done is just slammed the Juggernaut. He would have just hit the other Juggernaut and then be knocked down. And that would have given me the line of sight I needed. But I didn't spot that, so I just walked up and hitting him with the spear 4 times, and the shield once was enough to take down the Juggernaut. I did have the option of giving him strength bonus, but I thought keeping Arcane Shield on him was actually more important than that. I didn't quite take the Juggernaut down.
He had 2 boxes left.
He had 2 boxes left, so a double boosted hand cannon from Jake's was just enough to... I think I needed to roll an 8 on 3 dice to take him down, so that worked out okay.
At that point I was still happy because I figured I could then now charge the Juggernaut into the to Dynamo.
Yes, on your turn.
Even at this point I didn't see that you were trying to shoot Butcher.
So yeah, and then that was it. So Dynamo walked up. He was in Butcher's back arc at that point, I think, as well. No, he wasn't. Did I shoot? I know. Yeah. So I'm telling this the wrong way around. It was Dynamo that did his shots first. No, he didn't. He didn't. No, this was right. This is right. So I did get some shots on Boo-CHERR.
4 sips of beer, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So it was Nemo that then activated at the end and finished him off with the Force Hammer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I activated Dynamo and he did big damage on Boo-CHERR. He was doing damage 9 and a couple of times, and so used up the focus.
I died, almost.
Yes, yeah, forced you to tough.
Yeah, I used roll a 5 on my tough roll.
So the only reason I was hitting these was because I was back arc, because I couldn't afford the focus to boost to hit.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky that was in the back arc, so I only needed 6s to hit rather than 8s. And I was rolling 6s. So, yeah. So I took him down, forced him to do a tough roll. So he was knocked down with 1 box. And then still had 4 focus on Nemo. So, yeah. Force Hammer. I think Finch tried to shoot him for like an ultimate insult. Finch went up and shot him with her power 10 gun.
She wouldn't have it.
She needed an 8 or something to kill him, didn't work out. But then, yeah, so Nemo, he was knocked down at that point, so he was easy to hit with a Force Hammer. Then Force Hammered him through the Hurricane onto the Tinker, who died.
Yeah.
And then the damage I was able to boost the damage with my remaining focus, and then that was more than enough to finish him off.
It's unfortunate that the Boo-CHERR crushed Orin the turn before.
Yeah.
It would have prevented the Force Hammer.
Yeah, that was pure luck. I mean, I didn't plan that at all. I always forget about Orin because he's a little bastard.
Because he doesn't do shit any game.
Well, in this matchup,
4 points spent
in this matchup, and not, I guess, but yeah. So yeah, it was kind of a nice assassination. Yeah, so pretty happy with that. And in the end, the scenario didn't come into it at all, really. We talked about it afterwards, but we found that it was a pretty dead scenario. Like on this round, if I hadn't assassinated Boo-CHERR, I would have scored on the right-hand zone. That would have put me 1 ahead, and then all I would have left to do then would be to not die and just keep contesting the zones, and then hope that you would clock yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I hadn't have killed Boo-CHERR, then the Hurricane would have got murdered by him on the next turn, probably. That Juggernaut probably would have taken down Dynamo, leaving me with only the Centurion. So I would have had problems if that hadn't worked out. But I think it was a pretty good chance that assassination worked.
Yeah. So I also just then realized that I should have moved that second Juggernaut also next to the Force, because that would have also blocked line of sight.
Yeah, but then a slam would have taken care of that, because we could have slammed one guy into the other and they would have both been knocked down. I can't believe I didn't see that. That's so, like, rather than relying on the Centurion to kill the Juggernaut, which isn't a guaranteed thing, just slam him. Why didn't I do that? Anyway, lesson learned.
And it's a fair win, because I didn't see the angle with Dynamo to Boo-CHERR at all. I was completely under the impression you were going to kill my Juggernaut with Dynamo as well.
Yeah.
So that's more than fair.
That would have been, I would have been pretty decent as well. Then you'd have been down to 2 heavies, one of which didn't want to open up. So that would have been okay, I guess. Yeah, okay. So that was that. And hopefully we'll hear more from Leon in the near future. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Ciao.